UFC Vegas 47, Hermansson versus Strickland. Weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. Fun card, the final breakdown of the week. We'll look at the fighters on the scales, see if any picks change. Guys, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on. If you know somebody that might enjoy the content, make sure to share. And let's jump right into the first fight. Malcolm Gordon, Denise Bondar. Earlier in the week, the pick is Bondar. He's a pretty strong favorite here. We'll look at him on the scales. He came in shredded out, ready to go. Expected for the flyweight division. Gordon also looked in fantastic shape. Then we have the face-off here. Similar size to both guys. The frames doesn't change anything. The pick is still Bondar. I think he should be able to do his thing with Malcolm Gordon. At times, Gordon gets over-aggressive. He'll shoot for the takedowns or he'll attack a little wildly with the hands. I expect Bondar to counter. I think Bondar has better wrestling. Gordon does have nasty jiu-jitsu, is a black belt. His best method of victory would be trying to find the submission. I just don't see that against Bondar here. I also see clear-cut striking edge for Bondar. I expect him to be impressive in his UFC debut and get the win. I'm thinking stoppage, leaning towards TKO, potential club and sub situation inside the distance would be the betting side that I like. Odds for this fight, Bondar best value money line -250, +255. Malcolm Gordon looking at Bondar to win inside the distance. That's about -115. If you have a feeling on the side of method of victory, maybe you want knockout, +275, submission, +250. Personally, more so feeling inside distance or just money lining it up. If you have a certain urge, though, you can go either way. There's definitely possibility of either outcome, but I do see Bondar getting himself an impressive win in his UFC debut against Malcolm Gordon here. Let's keep on running up the card. Next fight of the night, Jason Witt versus Philip Rowe. Gotta love the nicknames here, the Vanilla Gorilla and the Fresh Prince. Earlier in the week, the pick is Jason Witt, who is an underdog. Here is Philip Rowe on the scales, thin, ready to go. He does have a pretty good height advantage. He's 6'3", his opponent only 5'10". There is Jason Witt. Not looking as muscular as his normal self. Could be the weight cut. We'll see how he looks on fight night. Big size differential as far as the height goes here. Can Rowe stay on the feet? And if he does, can he land the knockout shot? He definitely has the potential to. Decent stand-up game. Has some power, lanky guy. I mean, he has a 10.5-inch reach advantage. Serious height edge, 5'10" to 6'3". That's massive. Witt has a clear wrestling advantage. I'm going to give you this. On this fight, I do think live betting would probably be a potential smart decision. You look at the lines live, you see if Jason Witt can land takedowns. If Rowe is able to stop the takedowns, get his striking off, control the distance, and start landing some damaging shots, he could definitely stop Jason Witt. Witt has been knocked out twice in his UFC career, both sub 1 minute KOs. I still have a feeling Jason Witt can grind out a win. It's close, though. So the betting side, I'm going dog. Pick side, still slightly leaning Witt. Competitive matchup. I feel like Witt is essentially a better version of Orion Kosei, who Rowe in his last fight was able to stop. Looking at the odds officially for this one, Witt +135 at best value, but you'll find him more near even money around +110, +115. And then Philip Rowe, -120 as a very slight favorite. Money has definitely come down on Jason Witt. Looking at fight goes distance, I think it's possible. That's actually at +160, interestingly enough. But if it's going distance, it's win for Witt. Witt wins by a decision, value of that +270. Say you're on the opposite side, you like Rowe by knockout, that is +200. I'm on Team Witt. I do think he gets it done, and I will predict him to do so via decision here over Philip Rowe. Next one, the light. Honestly, light heavyweight delight. Danilo, Marques, Jailton, Almeida. Earlier in the week, I'm on Almeida. The odds are hideous for this fight. He's in the -400 range as a favorite, so it makes it extremely difficult to play. Some value on the dog for sure. 6'6" Marques there. Experience in the UFC. Jailton Almeida looks in fantastic shape, shredded and ready to go. Interestingly enough, these guys look to be about the same height, which is kind of strange seeing the listing 6'3" versus 6'6". Reach advantage favors Almeida. I think striking, not superbly impressive on either side, but I lean Almeida with the Thai style. Grappling, top pressure, and control favors Almeida, though Marques is a competitive grappler, does have a good jiu-jitsu game and a skill set that is competent. I mean, the fight, the last one, Kennedy Njokuani, he was on the back and controlling majority until that third round. He gassed out, gets stopped. Jailton Almeida, you look at the Contender Series win, beat Nazaredinov, win via submission there. How's he going to look as the fight goes a little bit longer? I guess that's something that we're going to find out. I like Almeida to win this fight. I'll predict him potentially winning by a decision. I think Marques is being slept on by the bookies. Value for Marques as a dog is plus 370, about minus 400 for Jailton Almeida. Maybe you lean towards a prop, but maybe not. Personally, the side of betting is more advantageous towards dog or pass. But if you're on Almeida and maybe you're thinking, hey, I think Marques could survive, maybe a decision by Jailton Jr., maybe plus 375, sprinkle play. You can't get a ton at that money line, but you could maybe do the over 1.5, which is near even money. I like that play probably the most on this fight as far as betting, but I will pick Jailton Almeida to get a W in his UFC debut. Next fight of the night, Alexis Davis versus Julija Stoliarenko. This is a fun matchup here. Davis and OG Vet. Earlier in the week, I'm on the Stoliarenko dog side. We'll look at the fighters on the scale, see if anything changes. There is Stoliarenko. She looks intense and ready to rock. There's Alexis Davis. I'm very concerned with this underdog, Stoliarenko. Alexis Davis, older girl for sure, 37 now, getting up there. Young 28-year-old Stoliarenko, known for a good submission game, has a decent striking skill set. Davis, not a fantastic striker, but tough, gritty, consistent. The value is dog or pass, but man, I'm a little bit tossed up on this matchup. I can't go against my dog pick Stoliarenko, but there's definitely clear methods of victory for Alexis Davis to pressure and control. I think this is a more competitive fight than the lines have it. I'll slightly lean Stoliarenko, but I'm not telling you to hammer this dog line. Looking at the value of it, Stoliarenko plus 210, Davis minus 215. Thinking potentially split decision. Could definitely see it going Davis's way. I think fight goes the distance is potentially the ultimate lock here. It says minus 115 there over at Jazz. I don't think that's accurate, but if you find that at even money or nearly, play that line. I think that's definitely worth it. Davis on the opposite side, if you like her, win via decision. You're looking at about minus 105, minus 106. Stoliarenko wins by decision would be big plus money, upwards of plus 415. Stoliarenko, I'll pick her. I do think the striking edge fares well. The jiu-jitsu is competitive. Wrestling edge, Davis. It's what can Stoliarenko do when she gets taken down. We'll find out a lot. Definitely one of those fights. The live betting is a great look here. We'll go Stoliarenko underdog. Next fight of the night, Marc-André Barriault versus Chidi Njokuani. Njokuani gets an awesome opportunity. He's my pick earlier on in the week. Now in the UFC versus Barriault, who is a very well-rounded fighter. There is Barriault on the scales looking in great shape. There is Chidi Njokuani. There is the face-off. You see reach, height, all favoring Njokuani. I think his technical Muay Thai is better. I think his range management is better, but Barriault, defensively sound. Competent grappling game. Also, Njokuani, black belt jiu-jitsu, has a good grappling game in his own right, not necessarily known for the grappling. This is a difficult fight. I see it being competitive through most of it. I lean the side of Chidi Njokuani to win a hard-fought decision, though, and that will be my pick. As far as the lines, Njokuani about plus 105, plus 108, I guess. Marc-André Barriault, the very slight favorite at minus 108. Odds are near even here. I do think we're going over 1.5. That's minus 175. I believe we're going distance. That's nearly minus 140. I don't think that's a terrible play. Or if you're on the Njokuani side, you believe he'll win a decision, as do I. It's plus 275 for that prop. So some decent value there. Not saying to throw the house at it. Much prefer Chidi Njokuani either at even money or slight plus money as an underdog for the win. Next fight of the night, Hakeem Dawodu versus Mike Trizano. I expect a very fun striking match. Earlier in the week, I was on Trizano as an underdog. We checked him out on the scales. Mike Trizano looking shredded out, got that American flag hat, and he's ready to rock. Dawodu looking in fantastic shapes, bulging abdominal region. He's definitely got a wild physique to him. It's a competitive fight, man. It's going to be who has more moments, because both of these guys are technically sound. Both can go distance and have proven that. 12-2-1 versus 9-1. Both guys 30 years of age. It's title run potentially, if they can get some W's off. Granted, it's a long road to the belt, but contendership is right around the corner for either getting a win. Bigger opportunity on the side of Trizano for sure, though, against Hakeem Dawodu. Plus money for Trizano. I feel like Dawodu sometimes keeps the volume a bit too low early. I think Trizano can have just a bit more moments and edge him on a decision. Extremely close matchup. I will go on the Mike Trizano side. I will predict him to win. Looking towards the pure odds for Mike Trizano, he's about plus 165. Dawodu around minus 158, depending where you go. I think fight goes distance for certain here. Minus 195. That's your most valuable bet on this one. If you're with me on the Trizano side and you want to play Trizano decision, plus 305. Dawodu decision, plus 125. He's expected to win and is expected to do it by decision. But I will pick the underdog, Mike Trizano, for the W in this fight. Very fun featherweight matchup between striking prospects. Expect a chess match on the feet. Featured prelim. Miles Johns versus John Castañeda. Johns has some serious power in his hands. I'm picking Johns earlier on in the week. Castañeda, difficult test though. There is both guys on the scales. Castañeda looking ready to rock, good shape. His opponent, Miles Johns, looks good as always. Size about similar. I do believe this is a fairly competitive fight for certain here. Miles Johns will be forced to bring a high-level game because John Castañeda has experience, 18-5, combate veteran, durable, not an easy guy to put away at all. Think the power edge, though, definitely Johns. Explosiveness, Johns. He has the wrestling in his back pocket. I don't believe Castañeda will be able to take down Miles Johns. I feel like Miles will let the hands fly. His best form of attack, I do believe, is working the body a bit and then finding a way upstairs. Maybe threaten with the takedown, but not necessarily being too worried about succeeding landing it, because that's not easy to do on Castañeda. Johns has improved his stand-up game masses, and I expect it to be on display here. I might be leaning on the wild side, but I'm thinking Castañeda might get knocked out by Miles Johns here. I like Johns, though, certainly for the win. I think he's a valuable money line bet, sitting at around minus 170. For Castañeda, he's plus 200. Looking at the KO prop, if you're feeling like a wild man, you want to throw down on it, it's plus 350. But much more certain in that win, pure money line play, around minus 178. Best value for Miles Johns. I think that he is a good money line play. And I think he's going to beat John Castañeda in this fight, which is a pretty damn fun one. And I'm excited to see this. The next fight of the night brings us to the main card. Guys, smash that like button if you're new, subscribe, turn the post notifications on, and make sure to share the video. Let's talk about the first fight on the main card. It's Julian Juicy J Erosa versus Steven Peterson. Peterson missed weight. He had trouble on the scale. He looked fatigued. He looked drained. We'll look at the fighters on the scales earlier in the week. The pick is Juicy J, Julian Erosa. There is Steven Peterson. Doesn't look happy. There is Julian Erosa. Typical look for him. And then there is the face-off there. Size edge Erosa. I believe technical striking, not necessarily Erosa's forte. It's unique striking. He has an unorthodox style, a unique rhythm to him. Keeps the hands low, switches the stances up, unloads combinations, flurries inside. Peterson, a lot more of your typical kickboxing pressure style. On the ground, Erosa has a nasty submission game, though Steven Peterson, not a guy that gets submitted. He gets a big opportunity to fight Julian Erosa. Erosa has been a guy that's come through as an underdog in the past. Now, he's a massive favorite. I will predict him still to win. I think he'll take it. Leaning unanimous decision, though. If he did get a submission, that would be a huge accolade. The value betting isn't fantastic here. You're looking at minus 290 for Julian Erosa, plus 270 for Steven Peterson. As far as props, fight goes distance is minus 105. I do lean towards it will go distance with the durability of Peterson. Maybe you like Erosa wins a decision, nearly plus 170. If you're on the Erosa submission side, it's plus 525. Definitely more of a Hail Mary play, but I definitely like Julian Erosa for the win. Just not a lot of value if you're playing him purely money line. You're looking at nearly the minus 300 price tag to get you back that $100. Let's get to the next one. Bryan battled Tresean Gore. The people's main event. It is the, I guess, fantasy Ultimate Fighter finale. Battle won the season that Tresean was the original finalist who was supposed to fight against Bryan Battle. Both beat Urbina. I believe it was Gilbert Urbina. Both were able to beat him. For Tresean, knocked him out on tough. Submission win for Bryan Battle, who is battle tested. How will that go here? Earlier in the week, I'm on Tresean Gore. I've been tossing and turning about this fight and thinking about it left and right. It's probably the fight I'm looking forward to most on the card. I've become a big fan of both of these men, so it's going to be difficult to see either one of them lose. Can Battle get Tresean to the ground and drag him into deep waters? That is the ultimate question. I definitely see a path for him to do such a thing. It's a fight that if I am betting, I'm live betting. I'm not touching the lines before. I feel like the power of Tresean Gore is real here. I believe he could find the chin and get the knockout. He's an explosive guy with a special kickboxing skill set. Bryan Battle, gritty as hell. Wrestling game, pressure, durability is battle tested. As I mentioned, he was hurt against Urbina, recovers, comes back, wins that fight by submission. I definitely see a path for Bryan Battle submission. I also see a path for Tresean Gore getting a TKO. Should be an amazing matchup that I just want to sit back and enjoy, but I will pick Tresean reluctantly. Being a fan of both, it's very hard for me to give a pick here, but I have to tell you what I am feeling. Minus 140 nearly for Tresean. Battle plus 135. As far as the props, over 1.5, minus 185, I do believe could be a casher. I think there's a chance Gore gets a TKO here in the second or third. As far as Battle side of things, if you like him to win via submission, you're looking at plus 500, and it's not an impossible feat. Gore by TKO plus 220. The props get dangerous here. Personally sitting out on them, but if you like either one of those are the numbers there. Overall, though, fun matchup. The true Ultimate Fighter finale. If you fight a guy from your season and you are the winner, to me, this is the Ultimate Fighter title defense essentially here as he takes on Tresean Gore. Bryan Battle defending that Ultimate Fighter crown. I will pick Tresean to pull this one off. Next fight of the night, Sam Alvey and Brendan Allen. Short notice. Sam Alvey, savage, 205, better weight class for him. Brendan Allen taking the fight on short notice. That's a ballsy feat. Earlier in the week, I said, you know what? I'm going dog. I'm going Sam Alvey. He's been training, and especially at 205, he has improved durability and physical strength. Look at Brendan Allen. He doesn't have his signature lean look. How hard has he been training leading up to this fight? There is Sam Alvey looking ready to rock, his typical self. There is the face-off, smiling Sam, happy to get back in there and give it another go. Sam Alvey's in a must-win situation, 0-6-1 in his last 7 fights. He's still competitive at light heavyweight. He's not getting smoked left and right. At middleweight, he struggles more so. This fight at middleweight definitely favors Brendan Allen. But when you look at this fight at 205 pounds and then Brendan Allen also being knocked out 2 months ago, I'm going Sam Alvey, underdog. I think that is the play. I'm going to go with that as the pick as well. I think he can get the knockout here. Maybe a mistake on the Brendan Allen side taking this fight against Sam Alvey. Now, as far as the lines, you're looking at massive plus money, plus 344 best value for Alvey, minus 380 for Brendan Allen. Do you like knockout prop? Are you feeling you want to sprinkle that? I think it might be worth the touch at plus 655. I am on the Alvey side. Overall, I'm super excited for this fight. If it's at 185, it's Allen. If it's full training camp, it's Allen. But circumstances play a serious factor in the fight game, and this is one of them. You get knocked out 2 months ago, then you jump up a weight class to fight a guy who hits with some serious pop and has a bit of an awkward style, known for the KO. I'm going Sam Alvey to pull off the upset here over Brendan Allen. Call me crazy, but that is the pick on this matchup. Next fight of the night, Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Carlston Harris. This is exciting in the welterweight division. Shavkat is special, as is Carlston Harris. Prospects collide. Younger prospect Shavkat, who I did pick earlier on in the week, versus the 34-year-old Carlston Harris. Let's look at the fighters on the scales. There is Carlston Harris ready to go. There is Shavkat Rakhmonov also ready to go. And there is the face-off, both with their respective flags there. Kazakhstan versus Guyana. Very intrigued by this fight. I'm not changing my pick. I'm sticking on the side of Shavkat Rakhmonov. I believe he has the more proficient technical striking game and will find holes in the stand-up of Carlston Harris, who sometimes is a bit too wide with his shots, a little bit too wild, a little bit too pressure heavy. Against a guy as technical as Shavkat, he will pay for the mistakes. He's not going to be able to blitz him and overwhelm him like he did in Pakistan. He's not going to be able to out-grapple him, control him on the floor for the entire fight like he did, I believe, against Christian Aguilera, which he was able to win by submission. And then prior to that, has wins over in UAE Warriors. I mean, Carlston Harris saw it as a pretty high level outside of the UFC. Shavkat Rakhmonov's ultimate test here. He beat 2 Brazilians back-to-back, which is an impressive feat, especially both by submission. Alex Cowboy Oliveira, and then he also beat Michael Prajeres, first guy to submit him too. I think it's one of those situations where I could see a knockout, but I could also see Shavkat hurting Carlston Harris and then going towards a submission. I like Shavkat inside the distance if that's the bet side, or money line. Minus 220 for Shavkat, plus 200 for Carlston Harris. Let's say, hey, I need to play a prop. I'm going Shavkat wins inside distance at the slightest plus money, plus 100. I expect him to win. Seeing what you've shown recently, you have to lean the submission play also as valuable at plus 375, and Rakhmonov by KO is plus 215. I do think he finds Carlston Harris's chin. He's a very proficient striker, whereas Harris, not necessarily a bad striker, a little bit over-aggressive, wild at times, throws looping shots, leaves openings, and a guy like Shavkat will find the mark. Kazakhstan's prospect, Shavkat Rakhmonov, should put on a fantastic display in a fight that I can't wait to see. I will go Shavkat for the W. Co-main event of the evening. Talk about a fun fight. Punahele Soriano versus Nick Maximov. This is good stuff. I'm excited as hell to see what happens when the cage door closes here, because there's a lot of questions to be answered. Earlier in the week, I was on the Maximov side. We'll check out the fighters on the scale. There is Nick Maximov looking little Nick/Nate Diaz-esque with the shoulder-leaning bicep flex. And then on the opposite side, Punahele Soriano doing the lat spread to show his width here. And then there's the face-off. Listen, Maximov's not an easy fight for Punahele Soriano. Soriano has a good stand-up game, pressure style, has a wrestling background to go along with it, definitely has power in his hands. Maximov, big question mark with the stand-up, not a great striker, but how will Soriano do with Maximov continuing to attack for takedowns? The ultimate question is, can Maximov get him down? If he gets him down, what can he do from there? I believe he can actually have a lot of success. The takedown defense of Soriano should be there, but the persistent attack of Maximov will stifle the striking game of Soriano. I'm going underdog, Nick Maximov for the Nick Diaz army. I believe he is going to get it done and be a soldier for them, man. They need some warriors in the conversation. I think Maximov is the guy at this point. About plus 170 for Maximov, minus 180 Soriano. If you're on the dog side and you really want to take it to the next level, he has a good submission game. Maximov competes over at Submission Underground. Win via submission for Maximov. Value of that sitting at plus 550. I think that might be a steal of a tag. It's a Hail Mary prop for me. I like that fight a lot, and I like Maximov win via submission potentially over Punahele Soriano. A lot of questions will be answered. Of course, the Soriano knockout side is a very understandable side. Looking at the value of that prop, I do want to give it to you guys. It's about plus 130. So a little bit expectation of him getting a knockout. Very fun fight. Cannot wait to see these guys face off in the co-main event. Young prospects, 24-year-old Nick Maximov, super young in the fight game. 7-0 though. Punahele Soriano, 8-1, 29. Both prospects on the rise. I think Maximov gets himself a victory here in this co-main event. The main event of the evening. What a fantastic matchup. I cannot wait. Guys, smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe and turn the post notifications on. Share the video with somebody that you think may enjoy the content. Much love to everybody that continuously supports. I really appreciate you guys. Sean Strickland, Jack Hermansson. Middleweight supremacy on the line. Earlier in the week, the pick is Sean Strickland. We'll look at the fighters on the scales here. There is Sean Strickland, the wild man, the savage Sean Strickland, no longer Tarzan. There is Jack Hermansson, also in fantastic shape. He's fight ready. And there is the face-off. I believe Strickland said something about, oh, do you want me to pull guard or something like that to to Jack Hermansson, which of course, Hermansson's like, yeah, let's get this fight on the floor. That's where Hermansson wants it. Greco-Roman wrestling, so he needs to be more so in close, using the clinch trips, takedowns from there, get on top, and control Strickland, which is a lot easier said than done. Strickland, about 80% takedown defense rate. He's not an easy guy to put on his backside, and if you do get him there, he's even harder to control. I don't feel Jack Hermansson has a shot here to really win this fight outside of an early submission. I don't see him grinding out a win. I believe Strickland will be smart, intelligent defensively. His striking skills are where he shines. Crisp boxing, very slick style. It's smooth. I love watching it. He's got that slickster, modified Philly shell for MMA style. Pressures his opponents, uses a little shoulder roll. So much volume, and he's so persistent, constantly moving forward. He's going to overwhelm Jack Hermansson. I don't see Hermansson being able to secure takedowns, and if he does secure them, I don't see him being able to do much with them. I expect Sean Strickland to get an impressive win. Sean Strickland for the win. I'm going to tell you this. There's a chance he TKOs Jack, but it could also go the full 5. Either way, Sean Strickland's getting the W, and I do believe he's going to put on a striking display. It's how much can Jack Hermansson take? He's known as being a very tough guy, though has been stopped in the past. Jared Cannonier, Thiago Santos, knockout losses that come to mind. But he's a durable guy. He's not chinny by any means. I believe Sean Strickland may be due for a knockout win, though. Minus 200 for Strickland, plus 188 for Jack Hermansson. Over 2.5, around minus 160. I think that's a steal and definitely a potential line to play because I believe it's going later. If Strickland is to win, for me, it's around 3, 4, or 5. I like Sean Strickland a ton here. Maybe you want to play him TKO. It's plus 225. Maybe you like decision. You know, I don't know what side you're really feeling, but definitely not submission. Plus 900 for Strickland. I don't see that. Strickland wins via decision. Plus 210. Let's say you just play Strickland money line. I think that's where the money is made. That is my personal play. I like Sean Strickland win money line. I expect him to get it done over Jack Hermansson. This should be a hell of a fight. I cannot wait for this main event, guys. We will be spoiled. I'll be live for the entire card on the channel tomorrow, so make sure you tune in to that full card fight companion. Overall, UFC Vegas 47 is bringing the heat from bottom to top. We have fantastic fights, arguably a better card outside of, the top fights on the main card than UFC 270 itself. So it's a card we definitely going to watch. I'm going to love, and I'll be giving my live reactions throughout the entire thing, doing some live bets as well, maybe even a shoey too. So make sure you tune into that fight companion. If we get 115 likes on that live stream, it's shoey time for certain. Now, as far as parlaying things up, I really like Strickland as a mainstay parlay piece. If I'm going to add other fighters in, I like Denise Bondar alongside Strickland as a 2-fighter lock-style parlay. If you're willing to put a little more risk out there, you want to play a 3-fighter parlay, you could potentially add in Miles Johns. Another option that I could see having value is Shavkat Rakhmonov. I'll bring up best fight odds, but I'll be honest, lately they've been doing a bad job of ordering their bouts. So we'll see what we can find here. Let's go Bondar, and let's see if we can find the main event fighters who for some reason are on the next slide. I don't understand this one. Sean Strickland, Bondar, minus 106. If you want to add in Shavkat, plus 175. I love this play a lot. If you're not on the Shavkat side, I know some people are hesitant. Personally, I do believe he gets it done. This is riskier because he's a strong favorite, but Erosa should win. It'd be still plus 159 money. There's value there. If you're like, hey, I need to really put some juice in my sales, I want to play something that's closer, Chidi and Njokuani is awesome. And then if you want to go wild with it and add everybody in, you add Shavkat. And then let's say you also add in Erosa, you're looking at nearly plus 600. Of course, there's so many ways you can Hail Mary it. You can throw different dogs on the lines. I'm on a few here. Be cautious, bet intelligently. That's my best advice to everyone. 2 3-fighter parlays maximum. Overall, UFC Vegas 47 bringing the heat. We have a fantastic card. As I said, I'll be live for the whole thing. Smash the like button here. Make sure to subscribe. Turn the post notifications on. Much love, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. It's been great breaking down this card this entire week, and I look forward to being able to enjoy the beautiful violence tomorrow. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace, guys.